We are live on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
It did. Oh.
Good. How about you? Doing good. Yeah.
All right, I guess. Do you have two?
I don't have the timer. Do you have a timer?
Thank you. Like the 6-minute rule or 7-minute rule. There's a 7-minute rule at work, so.
That's what you get. What did you?
7 minutes. I like that. Not 5, but 7.
Yeah. The running joke at work is that it's a 7-minute rule.
You ready, Beth?
Yep.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Select Board meeting, February 10th. Please stand for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just want to let everyone know that this meeting is being videotaped and live streamed. The town of Brookfield is seeking volunteers to help clean out the basement beginning Tuesday, February 17th at 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. or any time you've had a little time in between. Those interested in helping that day or whenever available should email the select board at selectmen@brookfieldma.us or call 867-2930 extension 10 with the hours that someone's willing to volunteer. All right, the warrant. Signed warrants, fiscal year 2026-16, the payroll is $220,918.20. Fiscal 2026-16, accounts receivable, $600,979.93. This is one of the reasons that I thought that I might help the town to take special notice of someone like Philip Chafee that happened to be at the right place at the right time to help someone in need in Spencer. So Philip, do you mind coming up? We're gonna say a couple things. We're gonna give you a certificate of recognition for your achievement in helping save Mr. Ken Ritzer's life. Thank you very much. We're gonna read the letter that they sent on your behalf as well.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. Sarah, do you mind reading?
Yeah, I'll read it. So this is from the Spencer Fire and Emergency Service Facebook page, dated December 10th, 2025. It says, today was a very, very special day. We were visited by Ken Resner of Southbridge and his wife, Elaine. On November 5th, Mr. Resner was heading home from his bowling league in Spencer when he went into cardiac arrest while driving his vehicle. He crashed into a utility truck first, then head-on into a Honda. The female in the Honda was able to get out on her own. Luckily for Ken, Chief Parsons was the vehicle directly behind him heading west on Route 9. The chief quickly called in the collision and blocked the road with his cruiser. He assessed the female quickly and went to Ken's Jeep. After opening the door, determined he was unresponsive and needed to be removed quickly. Luckily, Brookfield firefighter Philip Chafee observed the collision as well when he was pulling out of McDonald's. Both the chief and firefighter Chafee then realized he was not breathing, and the chief removed him from the vehicle and assessed him and determined he was not breathing or had a pulse, and started CPR. Firefighter Chafee assisted in performing CPR as well once the Spencer Rescue Squad arrived on scene and started life-saving measures along with defib. He was transported to the hospital, and when they left, he had a pulse and was breathing. Mr. Resner was released from the hospital prior to Thanksgiving and was able to spend the holiday with his family. Ken and Elaine are forever grateful to everyone involved, especially Chief Parsons and firefighter Chafee, and that they were in the right place at the right time, starting life-saving CPR immediately. We are forever grateful as well that the Spencer Fire Department, Spencer Rescue Squad, and the Spencer Police Department work so well together when people are at their greatest time of need, and we could make a difference.
So again, thank you very much. You have anything you want to say, Phil?
No.
Well, thank you again.
Yep.
All right. Item number 2, Eagle Scout project, permission for a bench at Spooner Wells site. Edie Simpson, would you mind coming up? Either one. I will tell you, it's a great cause, and I think you got a little work ahead of you with the poison ivy over there. But I did speak with Don Fagno, and the well is pretty much on private property, so he said that you've reached out and you've done your due diligence, so maybe you could just take a minute and explain to the board what you're gonna do.
Yep, so for my Eagle project, I'm about to send in the proposal. I'm planning on the Spooner Well landmark on East Main Street. Right now, it's like covered in poison ivy. The well is kind of buried in plant matter, and the marker for the site is the only information there. So I'm planning on adding a historical sign with a pamphlet container so people can grab with more information about what happened. And I'm also planning on adding a bench so people can come and visit, and also landscape the area and clear out the poison ivy is the main intention of my project.
Wow, well, thank you very much for
Talk to
that.
Jim Hansen about his goats, maybe they need a snack, so.
Of course. And I just wanted to triple check and make sure that it was okay for me to carry out this project, because the town has an easement, and I just needed to make sure that I don't need a permit for the bench or the sign. They comply with the bylaws, I checked.
Yeah, good. No, I don't think a bench requires a permit. Do you know what type of bench you'll be installing?
I was thinking a stone bench to last longer against the elements,
Nice.
with like concrete footing, ideally.
Nice.
Have you looked at the whole history of that, by the way?
I know quite a bit about it.
So that's actually a relative of mine, believe it or not. And if you want to leave me some contact information, one of my cousins has done the entire history of it, and he's really, really good at it.
That's excellent.
They held a big thing in Worcester
Okay.
for the whole thing too, so it's some good stuff that I'd love to share with you.
Awesome. Yeah. I'll put my contact information.
I'll say one more thing. In the old Worcester courthouse that was probably torn down 10, 12 years ago, were you familiar with the portrait or maybe the painting on the wall in the old courthouse with the tree that there was a woman hanged?
Yep.
And that was, yeah,
Bathsheba.
okay. Yeah, okay. I know the courthouse is gone now and there's a new one in its place, but it's quite a historic site for Massachusetts for sure. So,
Yep.
yeah. Well, thank you very much for taking that
course.
project on. You have my
Thank you.
blessing, and do we need a motion for that, or do you want to?
So it probably would be good to get a motion, so, and then I did have just a couple of really quick questions. So is the intent to put the bench and the sign within the town's easement, or within, with the
Well,
permission of the private property
It is
owner?
on private property. The easement, I think, is just for public access. It's still owned by Mr. Fagno.
Right, okay, great.
I did speak with him, and he's good with wherever it goes, so.
Yeah, I figured, the only reason why I was asking was that if there was, if the signage was gonna be on the public property, I think we'd have to give her just something in writing saying that it's okay to set it up there, but if it's on the private property,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, so.
If you need anything from us, we'll just come back. and
Yeah,
direct.
so-
It's a great cause.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to support the Eagle Scout project associated with Spooner's Well.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. I
Good luck.
appreciate it.
Thanks for bringing it forward.
Of course, thank you.
All right. Item number 3, appoint Margaret Auburn to the Cultural Council.
Okay, I'll make a motion to appoint Margaret Aubin to the Cultural Council.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I received an email the other day about the Liberty Tree, the 250th anniversary of the signing of our Declaration of Independence, and I forwarded some of the information to Karen and Beth, you and Sarah. So do you have any, I thought that we would offer it to many of the committees and groups to figure out whether we would want to participate in this, and if we did, if we would want to put this tree on the common or the cemetery, or what the board's thought was. I think it's a great cause. I think it's expensive, but I think it's a great cause just for the public. It's roughly a 35 to 45 foot tree. It's going to cost approximately $3,000. It comes with a plaque. And it's just to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the signing of the independent.
So don't we have a shade tree budget that's almost exactly that amount of money?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Let me pull it up. I'm about 99% certain that it's, yeah, I mean, it's roughly equivalent to any one of
Yeah.
those. So, I mean, I'd be of the opinion the appropriate source for the funding for that would be the shade tree budget that the town said go get shade trees with, and that, certainly that elm would qualify as a shade tree.
Yeah.
So I think we maybe need to have a discussion with folks about appropriate placement, whether, I know not everything on the common is healthy. It might be a good replacement for one of the trees that's not doing so well on the common. So I think we need some discussion about like where it would go and
Yeah,
and that
exactly.
sort of thing.
Yep.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, I would support the funding of that out of our shade tree budget.
I would say that, I'll also say that I got a email today from Brad Kadelsky, and he said that the Friends of Brookfield would be interested in helping with it if money was an issue. He would take that back to Friends of Brookfield. So that's if we have a shortfall, maybe we could lean on them for some help.
Right. So,
So do you want to reach out?
sure, if you'd like. Let's just, so we got tree warden
Yeah,
expense, shade tree
Shade
expense.
is
2,500.
Jeff Clark's wife.
Yeah, $2,500.
Oh, that's right, and she is the shade tree
Yeah.
officer, so we should reach out to her
I spoke
first.
with Rich earlier and suggested he reach out to her, but, you know, whatever.
I wanted to bring it to the board
Yep.
to, yeah.
Yeah, $2,500.
Yeah, so let's see if she's okay with that budget going to, you know, a historically supported and relevant type of tree.
Yeah.
Okay,
So if we don't already have a plan for it, so.
All right.
all right.
Did you still want me to do the outreach on it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, if you don't mind.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you very much. All right, number 5, Conservation Commission donation for trail improvements from Miles Oprika. Miles, do you mind coming up? Thank you for coming in tonight, Miles.
Thank you.
Can you bring us all up to speed on what you're doing?
All right, so I finished working on my Eagle Scout project, which I started planning probably about this time last year. And so we finished work in the fall, and we have a little bit of extra funding that should be donated to the beneficiary, and I would like to donate it to the Conservation Commission for kind of as a thanks for all their help through the process.
Okay. All right. Do you have an amount on how much that is?
It's $175.
Steve, can you do something with that?
Yeah, we can do something with that.
Okay.
So the Conservation Commission spoke about this a couple meetings ago as an unannounced item because it was 48 hours before, but we made a motion at that point to accept the funds pending select board approval for the purpose of improving trails in town. It's not a responsibility that the conservation has yet, but we'd be happy to take that on. And if we can put that money in the town for that purpose, as opposed to donating it to another agency or whatnot, at least at this point, it gives us an opportunity to leverage those funds for the same purpose as this project was for, improving
Okay.
town trails.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
good.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So you're good with giving your hard-earned fundraising money away. Good for you. All right. Well, it's a great cause, so thank you
So
very
I'll
much,
make,
Miles.
I'll make a motion to accept under the provisions of General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53A, the acceptance of the residual funds from Mr. Oprika's Eagle Scout project on behalf of the Conservation Commission.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Well, thank you again. Thank you for your hard work on that bridge, too, and all your help us. All right. All right. Number 6, I'd like to pass over tonight where I didn't get that email until a few minutes before the meeting.
I'll go make a copy, and this is just, it's just highlights, there's a lot of details we probably got to dig into, but it'll provide a framework
Yeah.
for the conversation another night.
Okay.
So, do you mind if we talk for 2 minutes about conceptually?
The one thing that I thought, that wasn't really much, it seemed like it was more job description and goals, but I don't want to,
Well, and that's why I wanted to talk about it really
Okay.
briefly before we, and
All right.
we don't have to decide it today, because I think this is intended to provide a framework
okay,
for us to then set specific time-bounded goals.
Okay.
So for example, and I'll just take the first one, develop and maintain a balanced, sustainable operating budget in partnership with department heads and the board or committee chairs. My thought from a goals perspective would be, you'd then have like a sub-bullet that says no later than, April 1st, just for the sake of using April 1st as an example, have a draft budget to the select board in advance of the town meeting, right? And take these and break them out into time-bounded, specific, achievable, well-defined goals relative to what's expected underneath of that framework. So, it might look like a job description. It's not uncommon for there to be a lot of alignment between a job description and goals, because that's the whole reason why you set the goals, and that's the whole reason why you have a job description, right? So a lot of the general items might be similar, but then it's a case of like putting something specific around it. Like one example might be, economic development, right? Initiatives to expand the tax base and diversify revenue. Maybe it's something along the lines of, perform outreach with, a certain number of organizations relative to the Brookfield Gavitt wire property, right? Something along those lines that's metrics driven, but related to that higher level expectation, things like, the whole maintaining open responsive communication with board employees, or supporting professional development and succession planning, making sure that we actually identify either a development path for some of our like younger, newer employees, or establish reciprocal relationships with other small communities relative to training talent for the treasurer's department, for instance, since that's an area that a bunch of small communities are struggling with. Okay, so just conceptually, the idea behind this is not necessarily the explicit goals, but to provide us a framework to discuss what we want those explicit goals to be. So, but that's enough of a conversation for tonight on it. But I just wanted to clarify that, since it did come late and it didn't come with much explanation, I just kind of threw it at everybody.
okay.
That's the intent there.
All right, very good. So we'll put that on the agenda again, so we can get Bob pointed in the right direction, what the expectations are, and give him a clear expectation. So,
Right,
okay,
so-
thank you. All right, number 7, snow and ice deficit. Did you speak to Kyle, what he's looking for? Did you?
Well, honestly, it's gonna depend on events, right? So I did have the conversation with him. I mean, his question was, his understanding was that usually we don't vote it piece by piece, and I said it depends on the particular year and it depends on the particular board. So I explained to him the process relative to, you know, in some years, they have voted just, hey, deficit spending, and it's approved, and it's this amount of money, right? And there's no amount of money assigned to it, and then other times we've done it like literally, I think $15,000 or $20,000 at a time. Now, we voted, what, 60 at the last meeting, because we had 30,000 of
I think it
materials?
was
or
combined 60, right?
Yeah.
20 and 40, if I remember right.
I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was 20 and 40. So he has said that they're planning on running a little bit light in terms of labor between now and the end of the season. So, but I don't know where it stands right now. I did not get an exact number from him of where we think we are, so.
So the last I spoke with him, he asked for 20 and 20, so knowing that we're gonna meet again in 2 weeks or possibly next week, that let's just go with the 20 and 20 and see
Yeah.
if that gets
Yeah,
us through. And
I would be,
sorry to piecemeal it with small amounts, but hopefully the winter ends soon. Forecasts are coming up, so.
yeah, I mean, well, and I think fundamentally speaking, it's not necessarily bad to do it in incremental amounts. I think we do need to have the conversation about, depending on where we're at with that spend, whether we think it would be advantageous to do like one last buy of materials to start out next year, or how tight we want to run it. That's always a little bit of a gamble. It's just like betting on the commodities market, like, is salt going to be more or less expensive next year? We don't know when we're going into it, so I'd say between now and the next meeting, we probably want to have that discussion and see, and I'll get feedback from him about what kind of threshold he wants to end the season with, of what he wants on hand at the end of this year, going into next, so.
I know if the salt's bought in the summer, it's a lot cheaper than if we buy it right now. But it doesn't move a lot, but there is some flexibility when the barges are loaded up and they need to get rid of the material, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so I'll entertain a motion for 20,000 for materials and 20,000 for labor.
so moved.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, sign the Maya evaluation on the standpipe.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to accept to sign the valuation by Maya on the standpipe at Draper Street.
Second.
All in favor? Or any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Number 9, Police Department Monthly Report. I'll entertain a motion to accept that.
So moved?
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Fire Department Monthly Report so let me back up. The monthly report that we're accepting for the police is December, and the Fire Department's monthly report for January. Entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And then,
Nothing that needs years of service. Firefighter David
yeah, we should do that, actually.
Merlot for 15 years on 124.
Can I see that? So just a special thanks to firefighter David Merlot. He has 15 years of service with the fire department. Thank you very much. And then to acknowledge the EMS monthly report for January 26.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved select board minutes for 11/12/25 and 12/17/26.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the minutes from November 12th and December 17th.
The second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. I don't have anything else. It's 7:30. Right on time for an executive session.
Rich, excuse me. Are you Margaret by any chance? No? Okay. I'm sorry, I thought maybe she'd come in.
Yeah.
I'm town council, Bob.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
it is.
sorry.
Yeah. Please come up and join us. So I'll entertain a motion
Pleased to
for
meet
the
you, Michelle.
executive session.
Okay,
Do you need this? Oh, you
no,
don't, okay.
yeah. Mr. Chair, I move that we enter into executive session under exemption number 1 to discuss the reputation, character, physical condition, mental health, rather than the professional competence of an individual, or to discuss the discipline or dismissal of, or complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual, and not to reconvene into open session.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor, and we'll have a name roll call vote.
Coughlin, aye.
Campbell, aye.
Chafee, aye. Mr. Holcraft, with that in mind, would you like your executive session in open session or in closed session? Please.
All right, what is your question?
Would you like to conduct your executive session in open session or in closed session?
Open session, please, so that people can hear what's really going on in their town.
All right. A couple of the rules that I'm going to set for this executive session is I'm going to allow you to present evidence and speak. I'm going to allow anyone that was at the water board meeting an opportunity to speak and read their side of what happened for up to 2 minutes.
Well, they're gonna have 2 minutes, okay.
So I would like to, I think I'd like to start out by asking if anyone do you intend to speak?
Yes, sir.
I think I would like to hear from you first, and then we will move on to Mr. Holcraft.
Okay.
Yes, Jake?
So does everybody get 2 minutes each?
No.
Okay, so
Just
only people that are coming
that
up?
were at the water department meeting the day of the incident.
Got it, okay.
Is that fair?
That's
Okay.
I do also have a question. Is there any reason why we would or would not read any of the email statements provided to us, or would we just go?
We are going to
Yeah, we
read
are
the
going to,
email.
yeah.
Okay.
And I think if Mr. Taft wants to read, I don't know if he did submit a letter or not, but if he did and wants to read that out loud, I think he should be able to read it and not count towards his 2 minutes.
Time.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Fair enough.
I would concur with that. Do you want a motion for that?
No?
Okay.
No?
If he would like, he doesn't have to read it out loud, but I would like to give him the opportunity, if he did write a letter, it to not count towards the 2 minutes.
Fair enough. Do you mind coming up now? So I will say, Mr. Holcraft, while Mr. Taft is reading and he's talking, there'll be no interruptions, and then you'll have your full time to speak.
So I just want to, I'm going to hand out a couple of things to the board. That's a chronology of what happened prior to the meeting, and those are the rules and regulations as they pertain to the water department. I did not bring my letter that I sent, so I can't read it. I did forward it to the board.
Let me just see if it was printed and submitted. I do have the email.
Yeah, I have the email. I can read it, or John,
Go right ahead.
if you want to take my phone and read it, it's totally up to you. But I can read it if you want.
Go right ahead.
Okay. All right, this is from Don Taft. It's dated to Select Board and Police Chief, January 28th, 2026. It says, again today, January 28th, Dave Holcraft came into a Water Commission meeting and was disruptive, intimidating, and shouting. He just started yelling in the middle of the meeting. No public official, employee, or citizen should have to be subjected to this type of treatment from anyone. His unacceptable actions are repeatedly allowed to happen and should not be permitted. The event was not only disruptive to our Water Commission meeting, but heard by employees and citizens who were in both the assessor's and the collector's offices. As one observer noted, in quotes, "He is scary," end quote. We cannot wait until he does something physical or worse to take action. I am letting the select board know that as chairman of the Water Commission, I will not allow this to happen again at a Water Commission meeting, nor should it be condoned at any other meeting. My intention is to request police presence at any future Water Commission meetings. His conduct again raises the ongoing concerns made by employees about their safety in their offices. Additionally, I request that the select board reach out to town council for guidance and advise for further action. Can he be issued some kind of a formal warning that his conduct cannot continue and it will not be tolerated? Respectfully submitted, Donald Taft, Brookfield Water Commission Chairman.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I wrote that and submitted it. I do feel that Mr. Holcraft's actions were unnecessary. I did provide you with a chronology. This whole incident goes back, the subject is a water meter replacement, and you can see in the chronology what has gone on since November 12th. I have tried to reach out and phone call Mr. Holcraft and let him know what is going on and what has been scheduled in order to remove the meter and have it tested. He doesn't think that we are doing our job, and that was what he shouted at us on the 28th. I can tell you that's exactly what I'm doing. I am looking out for his welfare, and I am looking out for the welfare of the water department and the other water department customers. The reason that the meter did not get changed on Tuesday was because the curb stop that services that residence is broken. We did not realize that until I believe the date was January 18th. It's broken. We cannot get a wrench on it. That means we cannot shut the water off to that house. From the curb stop to the house, that water line is owned and the responsibility of the owner. If we go in and we take that meter out, there is a valve prior to the meter. If that valve fails, we have no way of isolating that water from the main. And if it were to break, the customer may have a flooded basement, and we have no way of shutting it off. I know he feels we're not doing our job, but I'm looking out for his welfare.
I'm going to allow him to continue.
I've tried to keep him informed as to what's happening. I called him and let him know that the curb stop was broken. The ground is frozen. It took us 2 days to find it. It was under snow. The ground is frozen. It does not make sense to try to dig that up with the frozen ground and try to fix it. So at this point, the plan is to wait until spring. He has a complaint about the meter. He doesn't think it's reading correctly because he's getting extremely high bills. It does say in our rules and regulations, which I just provided, what the process is for repairing a meter or replacing a meter or testing a meter. So the information is there. I did have him sign a authorization for us to do that on December 10th. Unfortunately, our water meter reader was not working at the time. We got that, I believe, on the 18th of December. And unfortunately, on the 19th, our superintendent gave his resignation. So we have been extremely busy with other items at the moment. That's my statement.
All right, thank you.
By the way, I will also say that there is a code of conduct that has been accepted by this town. It's posted, it's online, it says that people should be treated with respect, and it does allow for certain actions to be taken. I would say that I try to treat anybody that I talk to with respect. I would like that to come back at me in the same way. But I do think we need to review, accept, or throw that code of conduct away.
So I'm going to expand on that. If it's a meeting and there's an opportunity for a resident to speak, we cannot tell them how to speak. We cannot, there's case law, and I would like Michelle to expand on that as well. But if it's a meeting that there's no public comment and there's no agenda for someone to speak, then if someone is disruptive, we can have that person removed from the meeting. So there's two situations. So Michelle, did I get that right, or do you want to expand on that?
So under the open meeting law, a board chair can, if someone is disruptive to a meeting, speaking when they're not recognized, disruptive behavior, interrupting other speakers, the chair can give the person a warning, and if that conduct persists, can cause that person to be removed from the meeting. Okay? So the only time that the public has a legal right to speak is when it's a public hearing, which is generally processes under law that inherent in a public hearing is that the public have a right to speak, but the board can still set reasonable parameters, no more than so many minutes, things like that. Or if there is a public comment session listed on the agenda. If a board is considering an item that pertains to an individual, that individual still has no right to speak, but the board can certainly choose to allow that person to speak, right? And so when it comes to regulating how people interact or interface with board members during a meeting, there's some amount of judgment that comes into play here, but any board chair can certainly ensure that the meeting runs smoothly, efficiently, without unnecessary, unduly disruptions. You just have to give someone a warning first before they are ejected from the meeting. And so one of the things that, and sort of go a little broader, one of the things I notice in a lot of meetings, not just in Brookfield and elsewhere, is that it's a lot of give and take, you know what I mean? And that people like to be able to talk to their elected or appointed officials. And I understand that that is, you know, that's what it's all about. That's why people show up at your meetings. There's something you've got on the meeting that they're interested in and they want to talk to you. But it should not be a free-for-all, right? The only way that meetings can run efficiently is if there are some controls on the meeting. So I do encourage folks to be mindful that no member of the public should hijack a board meeting, you know, and that we all treat everybody with respect, right? I mean, I can't force anybody to be nice. I can't force people to, you know, follow a code of civility when it comes to public meetings, but disruptive behavior can be addressed.
So when Mr. Holcraft asked to be on our agenda, or if he's at a meeting and was to talk on an item that's on the agenda, I have no problem with that. What happened the other day was an outburst that interrupted the meeting. It was not on the agenda. If he would like me to call him, I'd gladly call him and talk to him offline. Thank you.
So, again, if it's a meeting and we have public comment, and you've advised me, if we don't want people to be disruptive, get rid of public comment. I've not been, but on agenda item.
Yeah, I mean, I think
right?
that's, when you have a public comment agenda item, as you mentioned, there's case law that, you know, gives speakers a lot of latitude. They can be critical, they can even be dismissive of government employees and officials and the efforts that you're taking, but what they can't be is disruptive.
Right.
And so that's the mechanism to ensure that your meeting runs smoothly. And so, as I said, if people speak out of order, if they're yelling, if they're interrupting speakers, if they're engaging in a way that obstructs access people to and from the meeting, if they engage in behavior that appears to be physically threatening, those, in my opinion, are all things that the chair, after warning, if the conduct persists, then the individual can be caused to be removed from the meeting.
Okay. All right. All right. Mr. Holcraft, do you have anything else?
Oh, yeah, you're gonna read you're gonna read the emails first?
Well, we do have two others, actually.
You should have more than two.
Oh, here's one from Brenda, and here's one from Al Jones. Do you guys have those?
Yeah.
Beth, do you want to take one?
Sure, let me read Al's. Let me just find it.
It's right here, Beth.
Oh, you have a
you
hard
wanna read
copy?
from paper?
Yeah.
Sure, that'd be
You
great.
should have one,
Oh,
but that's
all
okay.
right.
Use that one.
That's fine. Okay, so this is dated January 30th, 2026. Addressed to the Select Board with a copy to Don Taft and a number of other people. On January 28th, 2026, at 11 a.m., the Water Department held a meeting in the banquet hall at the Town Hall. In attendance were Water Department Chair Don Taft, Water Department Admin Holly Chisholm, Interim Water Superintendent Megan Wintour, and me. About 45 minutes into the meeting, John David Holcraft came in and sat down in the front row while we were discussing applicants for the vacant permanent water superintendent position. Mr. Holcraft sat quietly only for a few minutes. Suddenly, in the middle of our discussion, Mr. Holcraft randomly blurted out, "Point of order, I want to know about my water meter." I calmly asked Mr. Holcraft to please stop. I believe his outburst referred to his perceived problem with a water meter at one of his properties. Mr. Holcraft had just discussed this issue on the phone with Mr. Taft, and Mr. Taft had told him that the extreme cold temperatures had caused an issue with the water supply shutoff, so his meter could not be worked on at this time. But despite knowing the answer to his question, he continued to shout, "I want to know about my water meter," louder and more aggressively each time. I continued to ask him to please stop every time. Again, despite already knowing the answer to his own question, he kept ranting the same thing louder and louder. I began to get worried when Mr. Holcraft stood up and continued to repeat himself even louder as he stepped towards the four of us while yelling the same thing. I continued to ask him to please stop. We all continued to remain seated. Although he was acting very aggressively, I decided not to stand up if he continued to approach so as not to make him any angrier than he already was. Mr. Holcraft was extremely upset. Although I have been to many, many meetings where Mr. Holcraft has been very rude, loud, disrespectful, and disruptive, I have never seen him act out in this manner, and I was quite concerned about what he was going to do next. Finally, Mr. Holcraft yelled at us something about someone, him, Don, me, trying to be an important man, and then he shouted something about us not doing our jobs. After that, he turned and stomped off towards the town hall lobby. I was very relieved when he left our meeting because I had believed he was about to become physical towards at least one of us. Mr. Holcraft's highly inappropriate actions are not acceptable. His ongoing efforts to scare and bully and intimidate Brookfield public officials as well as residents must be dealt with before something really terrible happens. This has gone on way too long and none of us should have to deal with him. I await your response, letting all of us know what your plan is to keep us safe going forward. And then
We have one from Brenda.
one from Brenda. Thought there was a,
So, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
There is no point of order under the open meeting law. A
Yeah.
point of order is restricted to town meetings. I know that I've explained this before, specifically to Mr. Holdcraft when we were here the last time, and that is exactly the type of behavior that could cause someone to be removed if they persisted. That's
Okay.
the type of disruptive behavior that would qualify. So I'm just putting it out there, right?
Yeah.
This is a perfect
No,
example.
that's good to know. So that, Don, do you get that as the chair? So if this ever happened again, there's no point of order? If it happens again, give him his warning, and then he can be removed.
okay. This is a short one. I thought there was also a longer one.
I only have the short one for...
Okay. But this is from the tax collector, and
Oh, look, Beth, I'm going to interrupt for 1 second. So you asked if Brenda was in the meeting. She was not in the meeting. She was in her room, and it was visible from the tax office, so that's why I'm going to allow it.
And that's awfully good of you to explain that,
Well,
since
I
the
mean,
point of
yeah,
order
no,
doesn't
I'm
actually
just
apply,
trying to,
so.
I'm just trying to give it a level playing field, here,
Yep.
that's all.
I thought there was a longer one, but.
There was a longer one, I could have sworn, so.
Rick, can I ask you another question? You're saying they were sitting here? The board was sitting here?
The board was sitting here,
and
Mr.
her door was
Holcraft,
open over there?
Mr.
How did she have access?
Mr. Holcraft was sitting approximately where Steve was, or the next chair over, somewhere in that.
If she's in her office, how can she see from there, in her office,
So-
look this way?
Hold on,
So,
hold on.
so
I'm
this,
talking
this
about
is,
business.
this is
Okay,
not, this is
so we're not gonna do
your
this.
meeting,
Okay, we're not gonna
right?
do
It
this.
is not a public participation meeting,
Okay.
and folks have the right to observe the proceedings, but they don't have any innate right
Okay.
to speak or to get answers.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this one, and then, I thought I
I'll look-
remembered seeing something
I'll
else.
look for the other
but-
ones up while you're.
Okay, great, thank you. Hello, again, today at a water department meeting, David Holcraft was verbally abusive and completely disruptive. I am trying to run a professional office, and his outbursts are triggering, unbearable, and unacceptable. The bullying is out of control, and nothing is getting better. Sincerely, Brenda Parrish, tax collector.
So here, I mean, just, and there's another one that amplifies on that.
Yep, I know there was another one.
Give me 1 second, because one of them was in a bunch of text. Oh,
Okay, this one is a follow-up to that, which
I think it was
covers,
I think she responded to Al's on one, didn't she?
yeah, perhaps it was on that, so I'll try to find it in that string. But this is a follow-up to Mr. Ayers. It says when he asked if anybody had any statements about what had occurred, and Brenda responded, if that was the water department meeting, yes, I was in my office and I heard some screaming from Mr. Holcraft, and it was louder and more obnoxious than usual. So I went to start recording, but he had started to run out of the building. These outbursts are disturbing and appear to be escalating. How far will they go? I don't think we need to wait to figure that out. We need to be protected from this behavior.
And who is that from?
That was from Brenda.
Right, okay. And I think the one that was attached to Al's was very short.
Yeah, it was,
Just agreeing with Al's statement.
There's one from December 8th, talking about the appointment from Brenda. That's pretty long. I don't know if you guys are thinking about that one. Has a couple bullet points.
Yeah, I think that's the one I was talking about, so it's not directly related to this
No,
specific
it's-
incident.
No, it's just talking about his conduct.
Yeah, and the same thing is true, and actually, she, after the 12:10 Water Department meeting, which is the one prior to this, to the one in question, she had sent us the code of conduct saying clearly this policy is not being followed. If you watched the recent Water Department meeting, I also witnessed it. Who is responsible for enforcing this? Why are employees allowed to be constantly harassed and berated by somebody who doesn't live in our community? Please help stop this behavior. We deserve to work in a non-hostile, non-threatening environment.
So,
I do have a question, Michelle.
So I-
So you were saying that we cannot enforce the code of conduct, correct?
No, that's not true.
So we
no,
can't.
during public comment,
So-
Well, during public,
So during public meetings.
yes, you can,
Right.
but outside of.
But it's disruptive behavior. That's what you're dealing with. Now, outside of a meeting at which the public has a right to speak, oh, thank you.
Yeah,
The,
like in interaction coming into the town hall every day. going-
absolutely, you can address that.
Okay,
Now, I mean, I will say that some of the options to address this are probably physically or monetarily unfeasible. Like, this is the most open town hall I've ever seen. I've never seen a town hall where any resident can just come in off the street and walk into any office. But this is the way the town hall's been for the 20-plus years that I've been working with you folks, so I don't know that there are ways to fix that. You know, you could set office hours, or the times when the public can come in, and, I mean, all those things are not things that people like to hear,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
the public wants to be able to come in. So if someone is engaging in aggressive, threatening, berating behavior to town employees and town officials, then you have to look at that conduct and determine whether or not it's enough to issue a no trespass.
So when
We've
we-
talked about, we've done a no trespass with Mr. Holdcraft before. The question is whether or not we're at that point again here. I think you want to hear from Mr. Holdcraft and.
So I want to go back to the email that Beth just read from Brenda. I had sent you that video,
Yes,
and the conversation in question was during public comment. And that's when you specifically said, during public comment, if they're rude or not nice, that's when the Barron Law comes into place. And you said, get rid of public comment, or.
I say that every single time, and it is not something that people like to hear,
Yeah,
but,
no,
you
it's
know,
not been-
it
I said it
feels.
too.
Well, I mean, the problem is that I think everybody
Great line.
I know.
is at 11 with everything in life. I sometimes joke about the psychology degree that came with my law degree. I mean, I see it everywhere. People are angry, people are upset, and about everything that's going on in life. And so it does seem like people are triggered a little more easily than maybe they were in the past. And so, I've had towns that have had to eliminate public comment because the meetings have become completely unruly. Nothing gets done. And people feel that hostility and that.
So going back to her email, when she talked about the code of conduct, and then I reached out to you and sent the video, that was the response based on that video, that the code of conduct at that time really doesn't come into play. The code of conduct comes into play if someone's rude during a meeting and disruptive, but not necessarily in the public comment section.
So the difference is, when you have public comment or a public hearing, there are First Amendment rights that attach to that aren't the same with just random interactions in the hallways of town hall, right? That's not to say that, every time someone is rude, that you either need to respond in kind or that that's something that's actionable. It's a judgment call, frankly. And if, we've had situations, I've dealt with situations where people are told, look, you can't come to town hall except for certain hours. You need to make an appointment first. Like, those are some of the mechanisms that we try to employ when things have blown up, right? And they've gotten to the point where people don't feel like they're able to interact with particular residents without, being concerned for their well-being. Whether we're at that point or not is part of the discussion tonight.
Okay. All right. Someone want to read this, or is this
No.
out?
No.
That's out, okay. All right,
Well,
okay, you have the floor.
okay, very good, thank you. Thank you for having the meeting here. I'm going to give you a little background on our water department. There's no integrity with our water department, and I'm going to go over a few things. I've been going to the water department in the last year, calling them out on different things, and that's why we are here today. That's why I've been falsely accused of so-called yelling and screaming, but we'll get to that, and I'll prove to that never happened. I'm going to prove Don Taft is wrong, Al Jones, and the secretary. So I brought the water department, I brought them up to speed. I filed open meeting law violations on them. I told them about their billing practices were wrong. They're taking in money, and they also are doling money out from the secretary. She can't do that legally. I've called them out on that. I've called them out on the superintendent. The superintendent doesn't even show up, doesn't do his work. The former superintendent of the water department. He failed to show up on 3 water board meetings. Who does that? A water board superintendent does not show up for 3 water board meetings? And then Don Taft, the commissioner, says, oh, he's sick. He was not sick that day. He was out doing something else that I found out. I don't like being lied to in this town. My water meter, let's talk about that. I came in to see the water board about getting my water meter changed. This is when the weather was good, okay? Oh, our battery on our tester doesn't work. Oh, Dennis isn't around. In a timely manner, we'll get to your water meter, Well, when will that be? Oh, in a timely manner. Oh, a month went by. So I came back to the next board meeting. Oh, yeah, well, we just didn't get out there, or you missed an appointment with us, or whatever. And then the cold weather came. Oh, we can't get your shut-off is frozen. And then we'll have to wait till it thaws out, Don Taft tells me. And then, now tonight, it's broken. Well, which is it, you know? The former water superintendent put a new one in on the edge of my driveway, so I know it's not broken. I think what we have here is people don't know how to do their job. So this is what's going on, what's built this up. So let's have a retaliation against Mr. Holcraft. Let's get him, okay, let's get him. Then I was getting a heavy bill, and, yeah, we forgot to add stuff into your bill. What are you talking about? Did you explain that to me? No. The secretary hung up on me. She hung up on me twice. I was trying to get that explained. So she hung up on me. Okay, let's see what else I got here. And then I tried getting the superintendent for a couple other things, and no show. He just doesn't show up. And then they're saying, he left, he quit because of you, Dave. No, he didn't quit because of me. He got a better job in another town that paid, he had a huge responsibility he got in another town and paid him a lot more money than Brookfield because he had a bigger responsibility. So let's blame it on Dave. No. So anyway, he's gone, so that's fine. So now on this meeting on December 28th, or January 28th, or whatever it is, I came in. Now, it's been 3 months since my water meter didn't get changed, so I'm a little frustrated. So I came in very calmly. I sat down. I did a point of order just to get, I know you can't do a point of order, as the attorney said, I knew that, but I figured I'd get their attention. And Don Taft very nicely said, hang on a minute, Dave. So that was fine. And then I waited there, and I said, I've been waiting 3 months. Why should I wait any longer? So I get a little frustrated, and I told him I want my water meter fixed now. And I got a little loud, but I didn't yell and scream. There was no one was in jeopardy of safety. That's all made up by Al Jones and him and the secretary. It's all made up. So I got out of my chair and I just say, fix my meter. It was a 14-second discussion I had with him. It wasn't even a discussion. I just told him, fix my water meter. It's been 3 months. If you listen to what Al Jones just said in his email, if you listen to that, it was like I was up there for 10 minutes talking, raising hell, scaring everybody. Now, when have I ever done that in this town hall? No one's ever had a problem with me physically, ever. And that last trespass order that you guys levied on me, that will be dealt with legally at a later date. That was false too. So basically, the water department here has no integrity, zero integrity. Money's missing out of the accounts. Nobody's doing anything. Everybody's lying, making up stuff. And I'm going to prove that to you later on here. So let's see what here. I got so many notes here, so much. My father once told me, he said, Dave, when I was graduating, I'll tell you a little story, very brief. I was graduating, my father said, you're going to go out there in the world and you're going to find out something. I'm going to tell you something, truth against the world. And I said to my father, what the hell does that mean, truth against the world? He says, I'm not answering your question, you're going to find out on your own. Well, when I came to Brookfield, I'm finding out what that's all about. Here we are. I'm truth against Brookfield is what we're doing here tonight. And I'm not an angry person. I'm a very happy person, actually. So I don't know who's making up that false statement. So now I'd like to read the secretary. I won't mention her name, but the secretary or clerk of the water department. I've never had a problem with her until December when this all started. So I'm going to read an affidavit that she took me to court. Let everybody know she took me to court for harassment. Harassment? I don't even know how this got into the court. But I'm going to read just one harassment, if I may.
So that's not the issue that's before you today?
Okay.
So you're not addressing a complaint from the secretary?
Okay.
Okay, well, I'll read what she said.
No, I mean,
meeting.
that's something that's occurring in an outside court proceeding. We have
Okay.
no control over that.
All right, so I'll just say what was said to me. I won't have to forget the court thing. Is that good?
Well, but I think the thing is, right now, we've got complaints from Al, Don, and Brenda. Those
And the clerk. And the secretary as well.
Holly Chisholm.
Holly
You do have
Chisholm.
one from,
Oh,
okay.
No,
Well,
we haven't,
no,
no, we
no,
never
no.
received
That's
anything
never
from.
That's what I'm saying. If you
Yeah.
don't have a complaint from her
No.
right now, then it's irrelevant what's going on.
Okay,
Outside of here, so.
So keep her out of the
So focus
conversation.
on, I would suggest focusing on the statements made by Mr. Taff and Mr. Jones and Ms.
okay.
Parrish.
And Brenda.
Okay, so what do you, so why am I brought here tonight? Can you answer that for me, please? Why am I here tonight? I'm being falsely accused, but we're gonna get to that too.
You're here because 3 members of the town hall
Mm-hmm,
that were in a meeting said that you were disruptive, that there was no agenda item, no reason for you to talk, and you were disruptive.
okay, well, it sounds a little more than that, what they said. They've said that I'm yelling and screaming and they're fearing for their safety, and they're carrying on, and I'm running out of the room after, and I'm yelling and scaring the hell out of everybody. That's a little different, yeah. That's not what took place here.
Through you, Mr.
Yep.
Chafee.
Yep.
I think most of the complaints have been relative to, and maybe it would be good to ground ourselves. I know we're saying that we can't dictate method of speech during public comment, but I do want to just do a quick refresh on code of conduct relative to behavior towards one another when folks are in the town hall, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So, so the select board voted to enact the following policy, right? The town of Brookfield strives to provide a positive experience for those using and working in town facilities by following the professional standards of conduct policy. In addition, the town supports a workplace that is conducive to personal safety and security and is free from disrespectful speech, intimidation, bullying, threats, or violent acts. The town does not tolerate workplace hostility, violence, including threat of violence by anyone who is elected or appointed to any employee. The town will not tolerate harassing conduct that affects the employment conditions, that interferes unreasonably with an individual's performance, or creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. Complying with this code of conduct is required for all elected, appointed board, committee, or commission members. Violators that don't comply with this policy will be asked to leave the premises. It says, do not cause disturbances or disruptions to employees, show respect for others, building, facilities, and personal property of others, use common courtesy when interacting with others, do not speak disrespectfully to any town employee. Bullying or threatening behavior is strictly prohibited and will not be tolerated. Do not engage in any lewd or offensive behavior. Any form of violence is prohibited. Smoking, drinking, alcohol, or appearing to be under the influence of any illegal substances is prohibited. Shouting or raised voices directed at any employee is strictly prohibited and reason for removal. Repeated violations may result in permanent suspension of unsupervised facility privileges regardless of elected status.
And, Mr. Chair, if I could just,
Yeah, I'd like you
I
to weigh
mean,
in.
you don't need a policy
Right.
to say that if people come into a workspace and act in any of those behaviors that was described, that the select board as the general appointing authority, although may not be fair, but you're the people in charge, basically. And so if there needs to be action taken to ensure that that type of behavior doesn't happen or occur, we have to tailor that action to the circumstances. But, my point is
You don't need it.
you don't need it in
You
a
don't need
policy to say that this policy specifically applies to members of the public as well as board or committee members or staff, but by putting it in a policy that specifically addresses board or committee members, you are alerting those folks that may be cause for removal from their appointed
From their
position.
appointed position.
Okay.
Which I think is the context that some of the longer inputs we got regarding Mr. Holcraft's behavior came from, was, I think there was a point where there was a consideration for appointment, so. Never mind, it's not pertinent to tonight,
Oh,
don't worry
okay.
about it.
All right, I thought I was missing something for tonight, sorry.
Yep, no,
Okay.
that's my bad,
Okay.
I'm off topic, so.
Stay on topic, Beth. So if I came in and I raised my voice at 3 commissioners, okay, you can say that's disruptive. But what I'm going to tell you is I wasn't yelling and screaming and yelling, and there was nothing, they said they were all scared to death. It's all lies, okay? The water board in this town has no integrity. The whole god-dang board, okay? So we're going to watch a video, okay? You don't want to hear what this clerk here had to say. And by the way, what happened in court, they threw it out because it was all lies.
No.
I don't care. Well, I'm letting the people know.
We're
No,
not gonna do that.
I'm letting them know. The harassment was dropped, okay, because it was all lies. And it was based on this video that we're going to watch, okay? So I don't want to be brought in here and saying, oh, I'm yelling and screaming, because it's all lies, okay? So if I raise my voice at the commissioners, that's fine, and I did. Because 3 months trying to get a water meter changed, unacceptable in this town. Unacceptable. It's a 14-hour week job with this water superintendent. 14 hours, and he's getting paid for 40, okay? So I know what's going on here, and I'm standing up, and I'm going to continue being a vocal in this town. If you like it or not, get used to it. Now, who's going to play the video?
If she didn't write a complaint, I don't think that's pertinent, is it?
Well, the video is
The
of
video
so
shows
there's the
what-
video of 1/28,
Yes.
2026.
Yeah, nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with
It's
the
water
court.
commission
It's a water
meeting,
commission
right?
meeting. There was
Yeah.
I believe there was a water commissioner meeting before that. Was there one?
The
week
one
or
in
two before?
question is 128.
The one in question is 128, but,
January
obviously
28th.
there's
1210, I
Yeah,
think,
there's
was
a
another
couple,
one.
yes.
a few meetings where sort of there's been back and forths.
Mm-hmm.
So, what you want to watch or see, but I would suggest that, Mr. Holcraft has said, yeah, I raised my voice. So that's one thing that we don't need to establish that. The question of how things happened in the way that they happened, that's, if you want to watch the video, watch the video. I mean, there's no sound to it. But I would probably suggest watching the videos for the other meetings. I mean, I think the issue is the interruptions, look, I know, Mr. Holcraft, that you consider yourself to be, well, I don't want to put words in your mouth. When I see you, you're like a watchdog, right? You point things out as you see them. You've done that tonight. You've indicated that you think that they have no integrity, that nobody's doing their job, et cetera.
It's been proven.
Well, Ms. Holcraft, anytime someone
Dave,
comes
no
forward
one
with
interrupting you,
anything
please don't interrupt.
that
Okay,
is
I had to say that.
negative to you, because we've been here before, the assertion is it's all lies and I've got proof. And, I don't think we've ever had a situation where that has been the case, that there's been, a complaint that Mr. Holcraft has brought forward in writing with receipts that gives the board something to take action on. It's always been just his statements, right? And so I think, obviously, this is the board's determination as to whether or not it wants to watch the video or videos of meetings to determine, but if the board is simply, what do you want to do about this? I mean,
So I watched the December 10 meeting. We spoke about it. What do you want to do? You want to watch the 28th?
So through you,
Yeah,
Mr. Chair.
sure.
I mean, one of the things we have to understand, right, is that the first thing is the one thing that Mr. Taft and Mr. Holcraft agree on is that when he wasn't on the agenda, he basically pronounced point of order in a manner that's inconsistent with the appropriate conduct of the meeting, okay, and disrupted the meeting, okay. Mr. Holcraft feels justified in that disruption. I would say in this instance, right, I don't want to pay extra for my water bill, but it's not technically an emergency. Okay, it's not something that is causing necessarily some sort of like threat to life, limb, or property. It's, so we've established that the behavior was disruptive, it occurred at the meeting, right? I had a train of thought and it absolutely just derailed.
Can I,
Yeah,
Mr. Chair?
please.
I mean, I think one thing that this discussion, one use of this discussion is to really sort of get, whether folks agree or disagree, sort of lay the table for what expectations are moving forward, right? And what is or won't be tolerated at meetings. That's, of course, it's going to be board-specific. Boards have to
Vote their own
Right.
rules.
and enforce it, right? You
Right.
know what I mean? And and as Rich said, he and I have had many a conversation about, public comment being something that can be divisive. I probably had this discussion with prior boards,
Yeah,
right?
And I just remembered where I was going actually,
Oh,
with what
okay.
I was saying,
Go ahead.
if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I think one of the things that we have to appreciate, right, is that, how you experience an interaction is very individualized, and even just, and I want to call it lens effect, right? Everything from camera angle to just the fact that there's no sound. 80% of communication is nonverbal, but the verbal certainly can amplify that 80% that's nonverbal, right? So to watch video without sound, where we do see the physical, but it's from a different angle than the person who's experiencing it, I will tell you that things can look very different if you're sitting down, somebody else is standing up. If that person is moving towards you, your perception can be very different than if you take it from like a 75-degree angle and look at the same scenario. So I don't know that we're going to gain insight into the mindset and how people would feel in that circumstance by watching a soundless video. Okay, that's just my opinion. So, but we also, and I don't know that Mr. Holcraft has much appreciation for this, and I have to deal with this in my workplace all the time, is that perception is reality. If you conduct yourself in a way that has the tendency to evoke a specific emotional response in the people that you're interacting with, okay, it's hard to then claim lack of accountability for that response because you're playing a role in their perception of you in a particular way, whether it's threatening, whether it's disruptive, and their perception is their reality. And we've run into this before where either according to Mr. Holcraft, typically speaking, and I've used this phrase before and been told a liar, and been called a liar, and so, but I'm going to put it out there, is my perception is my reality. Your perception is your reality. In a perfect world, there's a fairly decent overlap between those two realities as we're interacting on a particular topic. Okay? That is not always the case, right? And, Mr. Holcraft doesn't feel that he was being threatening. Mr. Jones and Mr. Taft feel that he was being threatening. They were sitting down, he was standing up, right? It's something that you have to appreciate, is that psychologically position, volume plays a role in how people are going to receive the information and how you're trying to send your message, right? So I think it's important that we just appreciate that. I don't know that we'd gain anything from watching the video other than what's in the statements, right? Because the video doesn't matter as much as their mindset and how they're receiving the behavior.
May I comment on that? What took place, Beth. Facts are the facts. I raised my voice in 14 seconds, okay? So I don't, perceiving,
Wait, repeat what you said, Dave.
I raised my voice. I didn't yell and scream, okay? So you can't say, oh, I perceive he's going to jump over the table. Or you say you get a guy standing out in front of a bank, he's pacing back and forth. Oh, I think he's going to rob the place. Oh, Dave's going to jump over the table. Well, how long is this going to go on for? It's a little fact. I raise my voice, I want my meters changed, 14 seconds, and I leave. Now, if their mind is that, if they're worrying about a little guy like me going to go out of hand, I've been in this town for, 20-something years. When have you seen me get violent? When have you seen me ever yell and scream? Never. okay? And the last trespass order, that was a bunch of bunk too, and that's gonna be coming legally to the town, because that was just a bunch of old ladies said, oh, he was in there yelling and screaming.
We're not gonna.
I'm making my point about Beth, her perceiving. Okay, it's not about perceiving, it's what took place on the 28th of January when I came in here. I raised my voice, I want my meters changed. 3 months, I got frustrated, that's it. Now, if these old grown men can't handle it, then they should get off the board as a commissioner.
No, I disagree with that.
No,
What if it was
that's
three-
my
what if-
point,
what if
that's
it
my
was three-
opinion, it's my opinion.
What if it was 3 ladies sitting there, right? So
Same thing. But there wasn't 3 ladies, okay? It was 3 men.
Doesn't matter, either way.
Right, so perceiving and making something out of something that's not there is what's not there. Raising your voice, people raise their voices all the time.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Well, that's the point, right? I mean,
Yeah.
is that in fact conduct that we want to say
Yeah.
our employees and staff have to endure on a daily basis? I get that nobody's perfect, right? I get that people,
Yeah.
people have an off day. But these complaints don't come to you on a one-off basis, right? They are the cumulative effect of what's come before. I mean, sure, there can be a really egregious situation that happens that causes someone to bring a complaint in the first instance, but this is not the first time I've been here to address these issues with Mr. Holcraft. So I can say that, people have raised concerns before. And so here, right, we have, as Beth said, agreement that there were raised voices, right? And so even if that's just what you deal with, and if the board is I don't want to say content because that's the wrong word, but if the board feels that that's the issue that they want to address tonight, then I think they can address that based on the information that's before them. If the board wants to look further at this and, try to parse down whether it was appropriate or not appropriate for people to be fearful, then that's a different story.
We can't say whether, by body language, whether they were in fear or not. And I hate the phrase, but that's the truth. And it's all about perception. And I really disapprove when people put that on me because they perceive me in a different way. I've been out of town politics for 30 some odd years. I have watched from a distance. I will say that from the outside looking in, as an impartial party, he needs to stop doing what he's doing, and you guys need to stop doing what you're doing. Because what I saw at a couple of the meetings, they're getting tired of them, and they're giving little pokes. Little pokes, but it's a poke nonetheless. You can't come in to have your meter changed, and leave and say it's gonna be done in 2 weeks. And then when he comes back in, oh, you didn't read the rules. You gotta, and to your point, Dawn called him. I don't know when that call was. I really
If you
don't.
look at the timeline, it was like a day later.
But still, just the same, why wasn't he given that information when he was here if they knew that? Did you know that? Did he have a 1-inch main coming in, so he had to sign the paperwork?
No, what happened was, we talked with him about the
Don, would
rules
you
and
take the mic?
about the rules and regulations
Yeah.
of pulling the water meter out and having it tested.
Sure.
He in turn said he was not going to pay that fee.
Okay.
So that's when we did not take any action
Okay.
until he signed a piece of paper accepting those. That's why there was a month delay.
Okay.
There was nobody poking anybody, it was the facts.
So I can see his frustration. I hope you could see that a little bit. I mean, I've been here for a week. And I'm getting poked. And it's a real nice way too. No, you can't have my private cell phone. No, you can't take a tour of the plant. Why? I'm here to help. I'm not here to hurt anybody. I want to help you
So I
guys.
think we're getting, again, way off topic from the point. of
No,
the
no,
executive
actually we
session.
are, because this is the demeanor that's been going on here, and nobody says, listen, Dave, stop. Just stop. Enough is enough. Come in here and talk to these people like a pleasant human being. Put on your sign whatever you want, that's your right. But if you start talking to them a little bit nicer, you're gonna get a better response.
You want me to respond to that?
Sure.
I spoke to them at the first meeting. They didn't say anything about signing papers, it's gonna cost any money. They said they would address it, and I was very nice to them. So don't say that I wasn't being nice. I talked to them nice at the first meeting, and they says, okay, we'll look into it.
So Dave, you were nice one time.
Yeah. And then.
One time, out of how
No,
many, Dave?
I was nice the first time, and the second time I was stern, very stern. But that doesn't mean I wasn't nice,
I get your frustration,
so.
but you.
Accountability, Bob, right, but there's no accountability in this town, and that's the problem
So we
here.
gotta start somewhere. And
Okay, good.
We need to have
Good, that sounds good.
good manners towards each other, whether I like you or not, doesn't matter. I need
That's
to
right, I don't care. I don't care if you do or you don't.
Of course you do.
I don't.
Everybody likes
3
you.
months, 3 months to have a meter change is unacceptable. And you know what they're doing here. I just told you
We're
what
not
they
gonna-
were doing.
Hold on. We're not gonna, let's stick to the facts. Do you have anything?
Well, no, I was just commenting on Bob had a good point, and I was building on it, that's
I
all.
just, Don, what I'm saying is I think, and I get it, people that I deal with frustrate me, and if I get a little chance to give a little zing, I'm a human. Hey, I've had enough of you, so take this. Put it aside, you guys. Everybody, put it aside. Listen, Dave, you know where this is headed. You know, if this continues, you know, it's about perception, and if they perceive that they were in danger, that's the fact.
Play the video.
The video is.
We don't need to play the video. You said yourself, and we've established, all of us here tonight have established that you were disruptive. So
I raised my voice.
No, let me finish.
So,
If someone ever came into the town hall that I worked in and treated me the way that you treated the employees and the way that the perception is, I would expect my Board of Selectmen and my town administrator to stick up for me and to actually, I hate to say it, but to do something and to have my back.
not when you go to town meetings, people raise their voice. I go to other
Town meeting
meetings.
is
I go to
different.
other town meetings and people raise their
Town
voice.
meeting is
Board
different.
meetings.
I'm going to tell you this.
Board
Nobody
meetings.
comes into the town
Yeah.
of Spencer and conducts themselves the way that you do. And I'm
Yeah,
going
I
to
don't
say-
agree.
And I'm going to say you've been nothing but nice to me. We've always had wonderful interactions. But I cannot
Mm-hmm.
discredit what the other people are saying. I cannot say that all three of them are liars. Those words cannot come out of my mouth.
You weren't at the meeting either.
But they were at the meeting. They were the ones that perceived that you were being disruptive, that you were being intimidating, that they feared for their safety.
The interim superintendent sat right here, she's doing paperwork. She didn't even look up. Karen was in the kitchen making her lunch. She didn't even come out to the door to see what was going on, because nothing was going on. Nothing was going on. The girl was sitting here just doing paperwork, and I did my 14-second thing. She didn't even look up. So if I was yelling and screaming, like they say, which is a big lie again, why didn't she look up? Why didn't Karen come to the door? Because I just raised my voice and fixed my goddamn meters. That's all. I have that right. They're elected officials. I have that right. Take it to where you want to take it.
That's another lie. Karen was not in there. She was in her office.
Play the video, you can see it. So you're lying again, Don. Play the video. Why don't you want to play the video in this town? Yeah, more cover-up.
Let's play the video.
Okay, I'm gonna need 30 seconds.
And then I'm wrapping it up. I'm done.
Good.
I got a 5-year-old grandson at the hospital. I want to get out of here. I had enough of this
Sorry to
shit.
hear that.
That's rough, sorry to hear that.
Where is it coming out? Okay. Oh, well, we can't. Okay.
Yeah, are we still gonna be able to see Chris too?
No, but we can,
Yeah, hi.
We're gonna need to blow the video up in order to see it. And folks may wanna go up a little bit?
Okay, Chris, can you see the screen?
Yes, if I can see it, thanks for asking.
Okay, great.
Does that look like Karen going in, right? This girl's reading, we're looking at papers. That's the superintendent. Okay, Karen's going into the kitchen, right here. She's not in her office now, she's going in the kitchen. Okay, I'm still sitting here. Now, clock your watches, 14 seconds when I speak to these guys. Being very quiet and polite. Cameron's in the back, see her? She's right there, making lunch. Not in the office. There she is again. Okay? Like that, made one step, told her to fix my meters, and I left. She wasn't even at the table. And then you guys said 4 people were at the table. Now look at this girl here. She didn't even look up. Look at the secretary, Holly Chisholm. She just come out passing papers like nothing happened, because nothing did happen. Yeah. Karen's still in the kitchen, Don Taft. Are you listening to me? I'm sick of the lies in this town. Yeah. Yeah. She didn't even raise her head, the secretary. You know why? Because I wasn't out of control. Yeah. I made my point. Thank you. You guys do whatever you want.
What do you want to do? I want to go. Michelle, I'm going to ask you
So,
what?
so
some-
I think at a minimum, an admonition that, you know, disruptive behavior is not going to be tolerated, and that boards will be supported boards and committees will be supportive if they choose to, you know, follow the open meeting law, give the warning, and cause people to be removed.
I'll make a motion that anyone that comes in this building disruptive to a committee, to a board, to the select board, will get a warning, be asked to leave, and then will be removed by the police. If it happens to Mr. Holcraft again, I would be in support of a no trespass order. This is his final warning. that he cannot be disruptive at a meeting. Can't ask him how he,
Keep going. She'll be fine.
that's it, that this is his final warning to not be disruptive to any member of a board, committee in the Brookfield Town Hall,
What about interactions with staff?
with staff as well. Yeah,
And I think, I would say, I think it's fair to expect reciprocal, folks want to treat each other
Absolutely.
civilly.
yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't mean you have to agree, you can disagree, but, I mean, that's just my personal belief.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Mr. Chief, was your motion that we issue a final verbal warning to Mr. Holcraft regarding disruptive behavior at meetings, in a nutshell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
in
with
a
respect to staff.
Yeah.
And with res-
And,
and
and
respect
staff,
Yeah, and
not,
staff.
not, like Michelle pointed out, it doesn't have to be a meeting going on, but any member of the staff,
Could we do a documented verbal?
yes.
When I always give warnings, even if they're verbal,
Oh,
I
yeah.
put up the top that they're verbal, but it's documented, so he has a copy and we have a copy, and we agree what it says on the paper. There's no film, there's no guessing, there's no nothing.
All right.
Yeah. And I hope we're just not sitting back here in a couple months. Or in the future.
Michelle, would you be willing to draft that for us?
Sure. Do you want to authorize Bob to sign it, or do you want it to come back to you?
No, I'm good
For
with Bob.
review.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm good with
I'm
Bob
good
signing.
with Bob signing.
I'll make the motion that we authorize Bob to sign it.
Second. All, any discussion? All in favor?
Coughlin, aye.
Chafee, aye.
And then do we need to vote the original motion, or did y'all vote when I stepped away?
It was kind of a, wasn't really much of a motion as much of a rant, but
Maybe-
I think whatever Michelle writes up will serve as the
It will be
conditions.
consistent with this.
With
Yeah.
the, with the content of the
Yes.
discussion? Okay, great.
All right,
Motion to adjourn?
second.
Coughlin, aye.
Chafee, aye.
Campbell, aye.
I'm in favor.
There was one thing that you guys, I think, needed to sign. I don't think there was a signature for me.
I might have time in the middle, because the trainings are all during the day, but just so you know.
He knows. We'll just follow up with a writing.
Yep. Sure. All right, I hope everything's okay.
I hope the Brinson's okay, Rich. What's it? We do, yes. Lynn.
Pleasure to meet you.
Shaw.
I'm sorry.
If you just email grants at brookfieldma.us, and it is a grant writer, ask Jacob, but he has the email, it'll go right to her. I can send it to you when I get home. Yeah, okay.
I want you to come up and introduce yourself to the community to see who you are. I'm not picking on you.
Any better?
Really, that's a good point. Yeah.
No, seriously, I mean, in yourself.
I won't even base my voice on it. Appreciate that, Dave. Thank you.
Well, I didn't have to break out the candy.